Hey folks, welcome back to another edition of Somewhere Downrange, and I'm your host, Brad Branch. As always, out here at the range, and today we're playing in the mud. We got a hell of a rain last night, but you can't beat this weather for February. Holy crap, 60 degrees, first week of February, golden. It is windy though, so you're going to have to bear with the sound of wind generators in the background today, more than likely. I don't know if these microphones are picking them up or not, but if you hear any whoosh, 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 yeah. Today, brought the 450 Bushmaster back out, and the reason I really wasn't going to do this, but this Riton QD mount, cantilever mount that I've got this whiskey 3 sig in, I'm not sure I like it. Now, this is not a hit piece. This mount is made to be usable for 30mm tubes or 1 inch. This whiskey 3 is a 1 inch tube. And if you watched the previous video, when I was load testing, I had 4 targets up. And from each successive test target, you'll see that if you go back at that, and I'll post a picture of it here, stand by, that my groups, each time I would change loads, my groups would shift a little up, a little down, and that's to be expected with different powder charges, but they would also shift about a 1/4 inch to the right successively every 5 or 6 shots. And I couldn't figure out, that's something that you expect to see with load testing because different powder charges, different weights. Yeah, your group will shift. You fully expect to see it. And it didn't even tickle my mind as to be something I ought to think about. Well, I got home, put the old girl on the rest and started giving her a good cleaner. Got her nice and clean, polished up, ready to go again. And I was sitting there looking at it, admiring my own handiwork. And something looked strange to me. And it took me a full 5 minutes of sitting there just staring at it before I finally figured out what it was that looked strange. Now, when I mounted this optic on there, I put it in that mount where the elevation and adjustment turrets were just basically a hair forward of the center area between the rings. And I didn't think much about it until I gave it a good hard look, and then I looked at it, and this turret assembly was all the way forward up against the back of this ring. And I thought, how the hell did that get there? Now, those caps were torqued down 12 inch-pounds all the way around. Everything was right and tight. And I thought, what in the hell? So I picked the rifle up, set the butt on the ground, put my hand on the objective bell on that cover and pushed as hard as I could. I could not get that thing to move at all. But when I dismounted those caps, I discovered that those little split rings inserts inside that are used for the 1 inch tube, they are so slick inside that I'm telling you, Teflon feels like 60 grit sandpaper compared to that. Damn. Now, I kind of was half-ass expecting that could happen because I had this kind of set up years ago. 30mm tubes were out. They weren't near as big and popular as they are today, but they were out. And I can't remember if it was Bushnell or Loophole to who, but I had a set of just dual rings that had inserts. And the same thing happened. So, had to pull them caps, take a little remedial action. I put me some surface, for lack of a better word, tape, laminate, inside both sets, top and bottom. Got her back on there, got her where I wanted her, got them all torqued down again. So today we're going to test to see if this scope will now stay in place. Now you would think if this was something the company expected to happen, they would have included a couple of strips in there, but they didn't. But I have some really good, wide, kind of not rough, but not so damn slick backed tape that you can put in a ring. It's very thin, doesn't take up much room, but it should add a hell of a lot more grip because those rings are so slick, it's unreal. I mean, you put your finger on them and you're just like, that's like Teflon. It's beyond Teflon, it's so slick. It's like oiled glass. I mean, it's like trying to pick up a marble that's been embedded in a glass full of vegetable oil or something. It's awesome. But anyway, so that's what we're basically testing today. I'm going to get this thing back on paper. I'm going to re-zero the scope, get it where I want it, and then I've got 15 rounds of the Hornady XTP 240 grain mag bullet, and I'm just going to dump them into that target, you know, and I'm not going to just mag dump. I'm going to go for a good shot each time. But we're also going to keep an eye on this spot right here on the forward edge of that rear ring. I've got me a good double layer of some heavy duty L'Oreal all day wear red fingernail polish. It's good stuff, and it's tough stuff. But if this scope starts to have a tendency to start gritching forward just a little bit at a time, we're going to know it within 5 rounds or less. So we'll have a camera on the target, we'll have a camera on that spot, and we'll see what we see. And if it still wants to dismount itself or adjust its seating position, I'll get a different unit. I won't play with this much longer. The only reason the scope's on here is to check accuracy for a specific load. Once that load is checked, once I've decided on a load, this comes off. The QD mounted Vortex Spitfire goes back on for red dot fast acquisition running targets on pigs, and then I'm good. That's fine. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get the camera angles adjusted. We've got 4 rounds of Hornady Black 250 grain FTX in here to zero with, and that's what I want to zero with because that's what the optic on the other, that's what the alternate optic, the Vortex Spitfire, is already zeroed for. And it'll go back right on here and it holds at 0. You can take it on and off a half a dozen times, it goes right back to 0. So, stand by, let's make a little noise. Alrighty, we've got some of that Hornady Black in, we've got the camera set. Let's see if we can catch that scope trying to move. What do you say? I'm not going to worry about filming the zero portion on the target. I'm more concerned with what that scope's doing. Stand by. Appear to be about a ½ inch high and about 2 inches to the left. So another round at it. I'm dead center for left and right, about a ½ inch high center, maybe 5/8 of an inch. So another one in there. All right, I'm where I want to be. Let's check that fingernail polish. Stand by. I don't see anything that appears to be a fracture line yet. All right, maybe we got her fixed. Stand by. All right, folks, 15 rounds. 5 rounds to a mag. And let's see how she does. See if that scope can stay in place. Stand by. You didn't lock back, did you? That was weird. Lock back that time. Don't know what caused that. Oh yeah? Didn't lock you in, did I? Jesus. Trying to do some testing here. All right, let's check her out. Back that time. Stand by. Well, all right, folks. Yeah, that scope seems to be holding. Looks like the remedial action did the job. But just a little caveat, if you're going to use a system that's convertible from 1 inch to 30 mil and it's got inserts like that, be prepared, be ready. And as you can see from the target, the M240 XTP-Mags doing a fine job. I had 2 rounds, one up, one down, just a little off the group. I knew those were bad when I pulled the trigger. Man, the rest of them flew right in there. I got no kick about that. That'll smash old pig right to his knees. And I did a little checking on the failures to lock open on the last round on a couple of those sequences. It's just sitting in this rest, and there's enough give, and because your shoulder isn't against the butt, it's back here, there's nothing really keeping it from recoiling a little heavier than it needs to be. Yeah, that's what that issue was, so got that knocked out. So the takeaway from all this, yeah, that Riton mount is usable if you do it upright. And 450 Bushmaster with the XTP 240s and the right load, woo, they smoke. I like those. In fact, they're a little more than the gas system wants for a 3 o'clock pitch. It's pitching them out there at 215. But that's okay. That's okay. Won't hurt a bit. But they shoot a fine grip. Scope stayed in place. I confirmed accuracy. Now I can pull it off there and put the red dot back on, get ready for the pigs. Well, I hope you folks had fun. I hope you learned a little something. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm glad you got to come out and see me. Try to keep them as short as I can. So you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Get ready for the Super Bowl because I don't watch football. But if you do, well, you'll be busy, I'm sure. I'll be out making noise, which is my tradition for Super Bowl Sunday. It's a hell of a lot funner than sitting there watching some damn game. Well, you folks have a great day. Be careful, be safe. Thanks for coming out. Look forward to seeing you real soon somewhere downrange. Bye.